It's okay. It's all right. Good evening, faculty, parents, family members, and graduates. Welcome back to campus, and it's so nice to have you in our community back together. This evening, we are bound by specific guidelines for this gymnasium, and we'll need to excuse our faculty. But before doing so, I invite the class of 2021 to stand and thank the HKIS staff and faculty from the lower primary, upper primary, middle, and high schools for their dedication and support of your education of the past 14 years. Thank you, faculty and staff, for your dedication and service, especially during these unprecedented times. Thank you. I would now like to invite Pastor Joel Shivey from the Church of All Nations to the podium for our invocation.
Beginnings and endings and beginnings, and we do it all by the grace of the one who makes all things new, who made the cross into resurrection, hope and new life. As we come to the end of a challenging and interesting school year and celebrate the ending with graduation, also a new beginning for you. We do so in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now, please help me welcome Brian Chang, our senior class president, to welcome everyone to the ceremony this evening. Brian?
Good evening, everyone. Faculty, administrators, parents, the class of 2021, and welcome to the 54th Hong Kong International School graduation ceremony. First, congratulations to every single one of you in this class. Now, we've come a long way, and I recently got a letter from 6th grade me that I think illustrates how far we've come. Here's a small excerpt. I also hope you become as big as the 12th graders on the bus. They even know their 19 times tables. Do you know your 19 times tables? I know Mr. Hamilton is sitting there right in front of me, so I'm gonna say yes. The 12th grader on the bus also has a girlfriend. Do you have a girlfriend? Still working on that last one, but it astounds me as to how far we've come in such a seemingly short time. It was 4 years ago when we idolized the juniors and seniors who seemed almost mythical to us, when the very image of ourselves donning the cap and gown was inconceivable, when the days ahead seemed infinite in number. But the final day is here. The day where we have become everything we idolized. We are now the leaders, athletes, musicians, scientists, and writers that we dreamed of becoming. It is easy to center around the big events when reminiscing. But we don the cap and gown not necessarily because of the big events, but because of an accumulation of the small ones. The student that offered to sit with you during lunchtime, the cafeteria worker who smiled at you, the wonderful teachers who remained upbeat even during an 8 a.m. Zoom class, who stayed after hours to help, the parents who woke up at 5 to prepare you your favorite meal, who gave you a hug after you had a bad day. So as you reflect today, consider that perhaps HKIS spirit does not shine brightest in the grand moments, but rather in the small but crucial occasions. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
I now invite Mr. Chadwick Hamilton to the podium to address the class of 2021.
That's a typical greeting I get when class starts, so just so you get a sense of how my class works. I knew this pocket would come in handy, so I kept my speech. Hello, everyone. My name is Chadwick Charles Hamilton, and I'm almost 38 years old. I'm lucky enough to teach the most important and widely loved subject at HKIS, mathematics. That hurts. My two children, Iris and York, are 10 years away from graduating, but I'm already feeling emotional about when this time will come. So I recognize that this room holds immense joy, uncertainty, and real grief surrounding the upcoming changes. As such, it's an incredible honor to be asked to speak with you today. Thank you. I was inspired by a few of my students this year, so I sat down to write the speech about 11 o'clock last night. I'm kidding. It'd be more like midnight or 1. I've actually spent weeks poring over what to say. I asked some students, and they just told me to be funny. Just be funny. I would think enough of you have taken my classes to know that's a stretch. So then I asked my children, what should I talk about? And they said I should share about getting to know you over these years. And it struck me, all of these connections, all these great connections we have together. We've seen the stars in New Zealand, and we've watched the stars in London. We've chatted about hoops. We've skateboarded together, sometimes put on fashion shows. We've kicked around philosophical questions like, is math created or discovered? We've played blackjack and learned together. And these are just my edges. Consider how complex the network that connects all of you. Concerts, sports, art exhibits, competitions like robotics, events like MUN. You've shared junk boats, meals, Zoom classes, trips abroad, and some of you even had an unsanctioned senior skip day. But this is the interconnectivity and the beauty of a shared experience. And there's no shortage of advice being given these days. We're surrounded by it. And I don't say this with a negative connotation. As an example, the community gatherings this year felt really powerful, and the focus on the 4 loves was timely and really insightful. In fact, I remember one very moving poem in particular. It was really, really well done. So I'm not here to offer advice. I have instead a wish that you would have hope. hope for what life can bring and what you can bring to life. I also wish that you would not look down on hope that isn't actualized. And this is hard to do. Some of you may feel like high school didn't go the way you wanted it to, or that relationships ended before you were ready. Maybe you didn't get into your dream university. What value then did hope add to your life? When I was young, I had a dream of playing in the NBA, obviously. Again, that hurts. More importantly, I had a hope that I could actually make it. And this is important because a dream without hope is just a fantasy. I didn't just imagine myself making game winners. I believed that it was possible I could play in the NBA. Turns out I couldn't. But my hope was not wasted. That hope kept me playing a joyful game when I was challenged. It taught me persistence and how to overcome injury. It even helped me celebrate my successes, like my peak as MVP of JV basketball. Thank you, thank you. So while many at the time could have told me it was frivolous or ridiculous that I had this hope, they would have been right, or true rather, but they would have been overlooking the value of my hope. And it's good for me to reflect on this because this was not an easy year for me. In truth, I felt like I did a bad job teaching. I could say it was Zoom or a lack of a regular schedule or any number of real challenges that we all faced, but it wasn't any of these. This year had weighed on me, and in November, when cases spiked again, I realized I had lost hope. I couldn't envision teaching meaningfully, seeing extended family again, or even what a healthy life might look like. So this is not to say I was unaware of my privilege. My family had thankfully been healthy. They loved me. I had a great job. I knew this, but without hope, I struggled to make meaning, celebrate my successes, and persevere. It has been said that hope can be an anchor for the soul. It appears as though the inverse is also true. Without hope, I floated and wandered, unable to settle my mind or my soul. Even when we returned to in-person teaching, like I still had a fog that surrounded me. I realized I was being too internal. One of my favorite podcasts asks every interviewee a question that I should have been asking. What is something that is giving you hope? I spend my days surrounded by you, these like wonderfully thoughtful and passionate students. But I'd never asked them. So I did. A couple weeks ago I did. With the help of Daniel Zhang, the following video was recorded where students were asked to share their answers to that question.
Something that gives me hope is that even if today may not be as great, tomorrow I'm sure that tomorrow will always be better and each day going forward will be better than last.
My name is Mia, and I think that something that gives me hope is people standing up for what they believe in and knowing everything happens for a reason. And even when you're down, it will get better. No matter who you are or who you're friends with, we're all connected in some way.
To me, hope is the creation of positive change through learning about our past, from our elders, from our tradition, and forging a new path forward.
Hi, my name is Alice Lindsay, and what gives me hope is knowing that my family and friends are always there to support me.
Hi, my name's Or, and what gives me hope is that even though I'm going on like a fresh, independent start, I still know I have like people to count on to help me if I need to.
Hi, I'm Selena Sun, and something that gives me hope in the world is seeing young people educate themselves about current issues. I think it's really a positive change that a lot of people around me are trying to educate themselves and other people to kind of make an impact and think beyond just their own communities.
When I think about things I'm hopeful for in the future, it would be new beginnings and the idea of reinvention. Because when we're starting new journeys this fall, I think it's really important that we see them not as us leaving behind lives that we once knew, but more the fact that we're getting to make new lives and start new journeys, and that gives me hope.
Through these answers and my many conversations with you seniors this year, I realized that my hope had returned, that you were my hope. Because of you, I could hope for a better future. I could have hope for who my children could look up to and model their pursuits after. I could have hope for a community marked by empathy, love, and genuine care for others. I could hope that words would be life-giving, that music and art would thrive. I could hope that we could work together to solve complex problems and find beauty in that. I could even hope that in some small way, I had played a part in this. And this can be quite ethereal, so maybe I will give some advice. Seek hope. And when you find it, celebrate it and share it. You are my hope. You are the hope of your parents, your family, your friends, and community. So as you leave, carry this with you, not as a burden or pressure. Instead, may it be an anchor. May you change the world, knowing that you've already changed mine.
Next, please help me welcome Dr. Ron Rockema, the interim head of school, to the podium as we present to the class.
There's a definite theme tonight as we look at this. It's life. I remember when I was growing up, and every day I would have breakfast at the island in the kitchen with my mother. On the counter in front of me was a rock, not just a regular rock, but a painted rock with a message on it. Life is what happens while you're making other plans. As a teenager, I always was told to have plans, to have goals, to have a destination you want to get to. I wanted to get into the right college. I planned to be a great teacher, and I knew I wanted to complete my doctorate before I started my family. I never really understood what the paperweight actually meant and why my mother kept it in the kitchen all those years. Was it just there to hold down the recipes and the receipts and other garbage that I collected on the counter? Or was it the message for me that was deeper, for contemplation and more understanding? As I've gone through these last 18 months of this pandemic, I've started to understand a little bit more about that paperweight. Life is what happens when you're making other plans. We all had plans to visit colleges. We had plans to go to restaurants with our friends or spend time on the beach in our senior year. We even planned APAC or Intrum and senior grad getaways. Although these plans may not have materialized as we thought they would, life did happen. Some of us spent extra time with parents and siblings that otherwise would have been spent away from the house. A few of us learned or relearned instruments or games that we used to play that otherwise we would have been too busy for. And based on the senior projects that I saw, some of you learned to become expert baristas, Instagram posting experts, cooks, or simply just better friends as we move from larger groups to smaller groups of 4 at a table. Life happens in those daily conversations and interactions, and life is the memories of getting to know to those goals more than that goal itself. Today we mark the beginning of a new chapter for each of you, and I am thrilled that we here at HKIS could be part of your life so far. And as alumni, you will go forward representing our values, and we are proud to have you help us get out there into the world. However, HKIS is not just part of your past. It will be part of your future as well. The voices of your teachers and counselors, administrators and friends will live through you for years to come. As alumni, you will not only champion what you are here at HKIS, you will also be invited to stay connected with each other and the school. And I look forward to seeing what you choose to do with your life, and there's no doubt in my mind that it will be a life well lived. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Live your life, do good, and stay connected. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dr. David Loveland, and I am the proud high school principal for Hong Kong International School. Over the past year, there have been moments of uncertainty, including the ability to even sit here in this very room to honor our graduates. But we made it. And I want to thank our parents, the facilities team, the staff, and faculty for supporting these graduates and making this evening possible. Thank you. I would also like to ask and take a moment if there are any other class of 2021 graduates from university, college, or other schools in the crowd to please stand and allow us to congratulate you on your accomplishments. Please stand if you're part of a graduating class. In 1968, HKIS had its first graduating class of 28. This evening, we celebrate 173 students seated before you as the 54th graduating class. Hong Kong International School has a strong tradition of students who begin as primary students and continue on their journey to finish as graduates. At this time, graduates, please stand and remain standing if you started HKIS in R1 or R2. Please stand for those R1 through second grade, grades 3 through 5, grades 6 through 8, and grades 9 through 12. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your class of 2021. Graduates, you can be seated. Hey kids, just wait till you're in the real world. In the past 4 years, how many of you have heard those words uttered? The real world. What does that even mean? As a high school educator, I'm consistently confused whenever I hear adults make this statement. Parents, have you been guilty of this, perhaps? What does it really mean? Is there an age when the world suddenly becomes real? Because I would suggest that the world has felt pretty real for us these past 4 years. The real world is what we experience. And yes, I do understand that as a high school student, you are still on your parents' payroll and probably will be for another couple years. But adults paying bills does not equate to making the world real. Rather, it is just one phase on a list of changes we experience throughout our lives. So let's dig into the real world for a moment and compare a few things about teenage and adult environments. Let's start by thinking about managing relationships. Adults, would you agree that cultivating and maintaining adult relationships, both personal and business, takes a consistent effort to make things work? It is challenging and rewarding, but the work must be intentional. Have you ever had a work relationship go south? Or experienced issues with social media or coworker drama? I have. Graduates, have you ever had to navigate a relationship with a parent, a sibling, friend, or significant other? Was it complicated? Was it public? Were you able to navigate it? I would venture to say that relationships that teenagers manage are incredibly complex as they navigate hundreds of interactions each day, both personally and virtually. We all live in the real world, which involves building and maintaining relationships. Next, let's talk about finances. As adults, we work hard to make enough money to provide for our families, striving to create a good life for them. We have to manage these funds both in the short and in the long term, and with a gymnasium full of adults, I can say that probably, most likely, some of us are better at it than others. Now, graduates, I have seen how some of you manage your money on multiple occasions. I have even picked up a few negative tabs at Starbucks counters for some of you. Both adults and high school students have an allowance that we must manage. Now, mine is signed by Dr. Rockema, thank you, while yours is provided by your parents. Graduates, make sure you thank your parents. But navigating the end of the month with an empty octopus card happens to us all. An empty wallet is an empty wallet, no matter what age you are. Navigating lifestyle and expectation is challenging, and keeping up with society's idea of success is a deficit way of thinking. Live within your means and save. So I would say managing personal finances is complicated at any age. Lastly, let's consider the process of getting a job. It can be difficult, humbling, scary, and at the same time exciting. Parents, how many of you out there have applied for a job and didn't get it? Rejection is hard, but we move on, and we wait for what God has in store for us. Now, graduates, how many of you had to apply for something really important this past year? I'd venture to say that you've also found it to be difficult, humbling, scary, and at the same time exciting throughout the process. For some of you, it worked out as planned, while others, you've had to adapt and embrace a different direction. The best part is, wherever you are transitioning to is what the world has in store for you, and it'll be great. For all of us, putting ourselves out there can make us feel vulnerable. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but we continue on. Graduates, the decision that you've made as you transition are real, and we are proud of you for this. As I reflect on my own life, the world was real when I was in high school, and it continued on during my time in college, when I accepted my first job as a teacher, got married, had kids, moved overseas, and as I stand before you today, the world is very real. I want to challenge us tonight to move away from comparing experiences or debating who had it harder, and instead come together as one community, cheering each other on through many of the phases of life. Once a dragon, always a dragon. Graduates, what I'm trying to say is that throughout your time at HKIS, you've been living in the real world. While some of your experiences have occurred on a smaller level than what you may as you move through your adulthood, you've already learned how to navigate some of the most challenging dilemmas we all face. You've shown to be creative by leaving a legacy for future dragons. And you've all worked and collaborated to create a close-knit environment where all students are welcome. The resilience that you have shown through challenging times will pay dividends in the years to come. You are ready to move on to the next phase of your life, and HKIS is proud of you and the path that you've paved for your future. As freshmen, you started your HKIS journey together 4 years ago, and it may have been a little awkward trying to find your way at first, but today, it's good. Through your leadership and actions, you have shown the underclassmen of our school what the Dragon Spirit is all about, and we thank you for that. As you leave our school, I want to highlight a few things that have been a part of our community that we hope you share as you transition from HKIS and expand your real world. First, be kind to people. Each morning, HKIS faculty, staff, and administrators welcome you at the gate, and this is intentional. Think back to all those mornings and how it made you feel. Pass this feeling on to others. Say hello and thank you as often as you can throughout any given day. You will make others feel important, and it will also feed your soul. Difficult times will pass. Zoom, APs. This semester, some of you suffered from extreme senioritis. You just wanted to be done with the year. And guess what? There's many people in this room that wanted it done too. These past months, you have endured and fought on, and now as a result, you sit here today, so stay the course and you will thrive. Number 3, you will not remember your grades in the future, but you will remember the experiences you had. When you think back to high school, my guess is that your fondest memories will not be writing a summative. Do not rush to the next thing, but rather settle into the moment and enjoy the little things in life. Pause for a second. Take in being a graduate and the time that you spent with your friends as you will cherish these memories in the future. Class of 2021, it has been an absolute pleasure to serve as your principal over these past 4 years. You will always be part of the Dragon family, and know that we will be here for you for another 50 years, and be sure to visit from time to time. You are now part of thousands of graduates from Hong Kong International School. The entire community, past, present, are here to support you and are cheering you on. We will miss you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you. Class of 2021, it is now the time for the presentation of diplomas. On behalf of the HKIS High School faculty, I hereby affirm that the members of the class of 2021 seated before me have successfully completed the course of study prescribed by Hong Kong International School. By the responsibilities vested in me by the Board of Managers, I am proud to present the HKIS class of 2021. Seniors, please prepare to receive your diplomas. Board Member Dr. Kim, Interim Head of School Dr. Rakama, and Associate Principals Ms. Fine, Ms. Bennett, and Mr. Braco, please begin awarding the diplomas and acknowledge the class.
Ron Rayuga Akashi. Syed Ayan Zamin Ali. Ryan Chung Hong Ao. Justin Wing Chun Ao. Shloka Himanshu Bahugana. Hayden Bailey. Isabel Elaine Baker. Zachary William Barney. Joseph Wister Bellman. Sophia Isabella Berman Rodriguez. Aditya Basker. Sebastian Bisgard. Tyra Alexander Blakely.
Garrett Kyle Bordelon. Zachary Luke Brady. Courtney Nicole Cahill. Grace Jonji Chow. Max Cernosha. Beatrice Lok Young Chan. Yin Young Vanessa Chan. Maya Pauline Ming Xuan Chandler. Brandon Cheng. Alexander Christopher Che. Brian Cheng. Anton Miles Chu. Song Won Choi.
I Ting Chow. Anthony Zongwen Chow. Ray Alexander Dowd. Ryu El Esmar. Not in attendance tonight, Alyssa Ishibashi Fan. Alina Yeman Fowler. Dylan Alexandra Friedenberg. Louis Gabison. Christopher Gaw. Samantha Giles. Jaime Luis de Guzman Glenoga. Ella Foy Glitzer. Caroline Gong.
Miriam May Gordon. James Carrington Grinnan. Ziran Han. Quinn Helen Harris. Ariel Howe. Rhea Hemrajani. Megan Chunwa Heaney. Elias Adam Hiffrey. Mia Isabel Higgins. Ida Hong. Eden Hong. Simon Hong. Lucy Odibert Howell. Arthur Sue. Emily Megan Huang. Maxwell Kai Chung Ip. Dia Jane.
Lucas Peter Jen. Hyun Eric Kang. Jeffrey Kang. Naomi Katayama. Layla Keith. Natalie Tuyette Lan Kerrigan. Akash Khanna. Clara Kim. Jinjae Kim. Noah Songwoo Kim. Annika Kiara Klaus. Henrietta Ko. In-song Ko. Russell Kwan. Arush Naresh Kumra. Maya Lai. Nicholas Philip Laskowski.
Choyoy Ryan Lau. Penelope Lorne Lee. Tiffany Hanmi Lee. Youngjae Lee. Andrew Robert Lenk. Kezia Ellie Leung. Alexander Justin Lee. Mark Thomas Lingshen Lee. Claire Lee. Warren Sun Lee. Padma Yonlian Lim. Anthony Junyu Lin. Alice Okabe Uchi Lindsay. Caitlin D. Liu. Victoria Yunqing Liu. Arthur Lok Chung Lo. Anna Elizabeth Lobner.
James Lowe. Marguerite Elizabeth Lonergan. Finley Vincent Long. Martin Yucheng Liu. Arunav Mather. Dylan James Medeiros. Phoebe Catherine Medeiros. Annika Milwani. Varun Mishra. Esteban Julian Molina. James Ian Muldoni. Laura Lanra Na. Noble Lutnera Nickel. Rachel Yingqi Niu. Michael Joseph Nolasco. Sam Ogden. Taylor Joy O.
Not attending this evening, Marcus Magnus Ola Olsen. Joshua Chunghyun Pak. Goraka Pont. Matthias Henry Paradis Weeb. Aiden Leong Paul. Yen Pua. Agastya Rao. Keegan Daniel Rausch. Taiki Resnick. Eric James Surin Robertson. Jack Miles Wrong. Stanley Sao. Tasuku Sekine. Ashe Sanjay Shaw. Allison Mona Schick. Joanna C. Beatriz Vanieri Simeone. Luis Eduardo Vanieri Simeone.
Jackson Samuel Singer. Madeline Claire Smith. Riley Robertson Smith. Sean Patrick Julian Snelder. Ahana Suberwal. Justin Suderman. Natalie Z. Lin Sun. Daniel Yuhan Sun. Selena Yusin Sun. Justine Tam. Nathan Chun Man Tam. Nicole Tan. Brendan Kyle Tang. Henry Sehan Tang. Jason Shono Tai. Jessica Shono Tai.
Jackson Samuel Singer. Just kidding. So much for my highlighting. Roma Paul Ting. Davis Mingbon Sai. Yijay Angela Tso. Yiru Elaine Tso. Or Turner. Quentin Ville. Yaren Han Wallenberger. Dexter Wan. George Y. Chang Wan. Chris Youngzo Wang. Sida Wang. Gabrielle Jiyun Wei. Kaya Isobel Wheatley. Ellie Lou Woolhart. Andrea Chapman Wong. Anthea Ching Woon Wong.
Blythe Hoi-Yi Wong. Ching-Yu Marvin Wong. Phoebus Wong. Stanley Wong. Jason Wu. Brandon Yao. Kristen Yee. Jacqueline Yen. Guinevere Yi Kwan Young. Hadrian Magnus Caden Sokol Yin. Sienna Yubin Yoon. Hebe Chu Jung Yu. Yuan Zhongyang. Ashley Victoria Yu. Nikki Yuen. And Daniel Zheng.
I now present to you the graduating class of 2021. You can clap. Please help me welcome Lucy Howell to the podium as the class of 2021 speaker.
To the HKIS administration, faculty, families, friends, and those logging on from afar, and lastly, to the amazing class of 2021, good evening. As graduating seniors, we all had certain expectations for what our senior year was going to look like. All of us wanted to make the most of it, but that looks different for everyone. I'm sure all of us have been asked, hey, do you have anything on your senior bucket list? The response typically goes one of two ways. Either, hold on, I have a document, as they pull out their phone. Ah yes, the infamous document, a note on our phone for easy access. But what is in it? When I asked, there were things like glamping, ocean park, Minecraft marathon, movie marathon, jumping into the ocean fully clothed, or so on and so forth. I could probably fill up this time with all of the responses I got from my peers. Or what I heard most often was, my gosh, I don't know, I haven't even thought about it. And I have to admit, I felt the same way. It's almost as if we're expected to know what we want out of this year, since we've all been looking forward to it since we got our email addresses starting with 210. It became more exciting as we finished our elementary years and moved on up to the big kids campus in Taitam. Then it only amped up further as we finished middle school. We sat in these exact chairs thinking, next time we sit here, it'll be for real. And now, well, class of 2021, it's for real. And over these past weeks, I realized I had a senior bucket list in my head without even knowing it. And here are my top 3 highlights. Number 1, embrace the Hong Kong culture. I moved to Hong Kong when I was in 6th grade. It may seem super cliche, but as a middle school and high school student, it's easy to lose sight of the unique aspects of the city because we tend to take them for granted. It's important that we soak in everything around us because before we know it, we'll be asked about the culture in Hong Kong, and the only things we'll be able to come up with is bubble tea and egg waffles. Number 2, join all of the groups. Whether that is playing on a softball team, working in a restaurant, volunteering at an elderly home, joining a hiking group, or anything in between. We want to take advantage of the opportunities and enjoy the people around us. At HKIS, we did our best to immerse ourselves in opportunities when given the chance. And we want to continue that through college and adulthood, especially with the things that we're passionate about. Because in these groups, we have found people who have the same interests and goals in life. But most importantly, we've made memories, like chanting Disney songs in the locker room before a big game, and traveling to Shangwan to deliver love boxes to grateful and smiling faces at the local Hong Kong shelter. Number 3, say yes to late-night adventures. Let's do the spontaneous. Take night hikes on Violet Hill with our families, have Marvel movie marathons until 5 a.m. with our friends, or stay up laughing and playing Among Us over Zoom. We need to take advantage of the time we have. Even if it seems like it is fleeting, there's always more than we think if we take an effort to find it. Wandering around the city or randomly meeting up with someone for an hour can make the best of memories. So let's not waste it. As I realized these 3 things on my bucket list, I got into thinking about just how well our class has been able to accomplish the underlying message to all of this, and that is to appreciate. I watched us turn a simple finish the lyric game into a mob scene on Spirit Day as we jumped around and belted Old Town Road at the top of our lungs. I watched us go to Ichiran at 3 a.m. after AP exams, the perfect celebration after 2 weeks of insomnia. And just this past week, we signed the rock after our last day and took a trip to Ocean Park as an entire class, using the most useless thunderstorm warning as a bonding experience. And of course, we will never forget how we took our freshman class video and turned it into our class motto, chanting it at every occasion possible. Thank you. Our class has taken everything thrown at us and appreciated what we have day in and day out. We're here as graduating seniors, having had 14 years of our childhood behind us, knowing that we've made the most of it. Maybe we've all fulfilled this bucket list in one way or another, by being here in each and every moment. And that is what makes this HKIS class of 2021 so special, because I know that even after we move those tassels to the left and we all go our separate ways, we will continue to do just that, to appreciate, to be present. Class of 2021, let's take it all in. Appreciate all of the amazing things you've done, appreciate each other, and look forward to the outstanding things ahead. In fact, I want to take this appreciative moment to thank all of the people who have helped us to get here. First, our administrators, who we literally would not be sitting on this stage without your efforts and creativity over the past year and a half. It's not lost on us how lucky we are to have such dedicated leaders working to make the best of any situation. Next, our incredible teachers, who stayed patient through our many negotiations and last-minute grinds for tests, and still did everything to make us better students, learners, and people. And last, but certainly not least, our lovely parents, always pushing us to be better every single day. Even if we missed curfew or are on our phones too much, you always put us first. And we know we wouldn't be the people we are today without your endless support. So thank you. Yeah, clap it up. But even as we reminisce on our years at HKIS and all of the people who have helped us, I'm not sure it has fully hit me that this is it. The end of our grade school years, the end of high school, the end of my speech even. This is the time to say goodbye. And to be completely honest, I have no idea how. This class has become a family to me. Over the past month, I have been more and more aware of every wave across the island, each hello as we pass by in the halls, and every single face I see sitting on this stage today. All of these little connections make this class so memorable. I'm so grateful I got to live out my bucket list with all of you, and I can't wait, class of 2021, to look back and remember all of those small moments with a smile, because those experiences and all of you made this whole journey worth it. Congratulations, we did it. I love you all.
Please help me welcome our talented madrigal singers under the direction of Ms. D. Hausman to perform Omnia Sol, Let Your Heart Be Stead. Go ahead and come on up. A reflection on the constant passage of events and people in life's continuum, and the human need to anchor words of love and commitment in the hearts of those who have been pillars along life's way. Everywhere light, Omnia Sol, is a metaphor for the inseparable kinship we share with others, a light which is perpetuated by our daily investing in leaving a bit of ourselves in every soul we encounter. Though we mature and move on, part of us is stead in the hearts and minds of those we chance to meet. I now invite Pastor Joel Shivey for the benediction.
So many good words tonight. The powerful performative words from Dr. Loveland has made you graduates. And heartfelt words from Lucy called forth memories and dreams. Inspiring words from Mr. Hamilton held out hope for us, hope that finds its substance in faith and in words. And I now have the joy to speak ancient words of hope and blessing upon you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace.
I invite Ron Akashi, the HKIS presiding officer, to present the class. Have him stand up. Congratulations, class of 2021, and remember, you have been living in the real world and are ready for the next stage of life. Be nice to people, difficult times pass, live in the moment, be sure to call your parents, remember HKIS, pray, and amaze the world with your talents. Congratulations.